The idea that these devices are not conscious, and they will not be conscious unless they bring in some other ideas. They're all computable notions. I think when people use the word intelligence, they mean something which is conscious. I mean that. You see, I developed my own ideas after going to a course. You see, when I was a graduate student in Cambridge, I went to 3 courses which were nothing to do what I was supposed to be doing. One was by Bondi on general relativity. One was by Dirac on quantum mechanics, very distinguished Paul Dirac. And the third subject was on mathematical logic. And I learned about Turing machines and the notion of computability. And I knew what computability meant. And I learned about Gödel's theorem. And Gödel's theorem I found stunning, because it told you that there are things that the understanding transcends the use. Let me put that more clearly. What Gödel does, it's very clever, what he does is to produce a statement. Now suppose you're trying to develop your mathematical methods of proof. What do you mean by proving a theorem in mathematics? How do you know it's really true? Well, you prove it. What does proof mean? Well, you see, does it mean, okay, you've got a set of rules, and if you follow these rules, that makes it a proof. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you know these rules only give you truths? Well, you've looked at them carefully and you say,
but maybe AI creates its own rules.
No, you see. You have to be careful about this. This is the point. But I learned from Steen. This was a man called Steen, who was a logician. And I learned from him this important thing about Gödel's theorem. Now, Gödel's theorem is extremely clever. You make a statement which asserts that it cannot be proved by these rules. It's just, the clever thing is to make it do it. It says, you give your rules, which you regard as the rules of proof, and you could put them on a computer. So that means they're computational rules. Now, I knew that there were things that you cannot put on a computer. I learned from this course that there are non-computable things. There are things in mathematics which are not computable. Now, what does computable mean? It means that you can make a computer. Well, you have to define what a computer is. And Turing had one definition of a computer. There were several other, Church and Curry. Other people had their definitions of computing. They all turned out to be equivalent. So there is one universal notion of computability, which is what you mean by what can be done by a computer.
But maybe this is only language problem.
It's not a language problem. You see, you make your new language. Sure, you can do that. You make your new language. And that's what you can do. See, let me describe the Gödel theorem, how it works, you see. See, the Gödel theorem says you construct a statement which says, you see what it means. The way you've constructed the sentence, you can see what it means. And what it means is, I am not provable by those rules. And it does that. It really says that. Then you see, okay, well, perhaps it is provable by the rules. If it is provable by the rules, then it must be true. Well, I've said it the wrong way around. Doesn't matter. The other way, suppose it's false. Then that means it's provable by the rules. And if it's provable by the rules, you've understood the rules, you said, you looked at them all and said, yes, that's okay, that. Sure, if you follow those rules, it is true. So that means you believe that the rules only give you truths. So therefore it is true that it's not provable by the rules. If it's false, you see, then it is provable by the rules, and therefore it's true. So it has to be true and not provable by the rules. I found that amazing.
But still I don't understand why AI cannot create its own rules.
Because it doesn't know that they're true. You see, that's the whole point about the Gödel theorem. The whole point, as far as I'm concerned, about the Gödel theorem is how do you transcend the rules? And that's what you do, by understanding them. You understand them why they're true. It's not that you use the rules, but you understand why use of the rules only gives you truths. And that's how you can prove things which go beyond the rules, by knowing why they're true. Now, knowing why they're true, well, what does it mean? Well, it means you understand them. What does understand mean? You've got to be conscious of them. You see, the wording is clear. It means that you have to know what you're doing. You have to know why they're true, not that they're true. You can be told that they're true. You can learn at school that they're true. That's not the point. You have to know why they're true. Why they're true needs understanding them. And understanding them requires the being conscious of them. Now you see, the point I was making is that consciousness enables you to transcend the rules. You see why they're true, and that goes you beyond it. You see, what the Gödel theorem does, it tells you how to use your understanding of why the rules are true to transcend the rules.
You think that AI is the simple tool or simple thing that we can use in the single case?
No, I don't say it's single. It's obviously infinite. No, clearly, that's not the point. The point is it doesn't know what it's doing. That's still true with AI. You talk to an AI thing, it doesn't know what it's doing. It speaks from experiences, if you like. You see, people have confused the story. The story is they've lost it in the power of computing. The thing is that computers have got so powerful that they've lost the thread of what they're doing. I think the point has got lost. I think Turing wasn't too far off. You see, he was a little bit confused person in a way, because it was not clear what he believed. But he did call this thing the Turing test. How do you decide whether an entity is conscious or not? Will you have a conversation with it? You talk.